Namaskar and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology, Debunking Mythology. Sat means truth and Logos means a study or science. Sattology means a science of truth or study of truth. It has been an interesting journey in US nowadays. You know, you have seen many of my videos debunking mythology and how mythology has destroyed the Hindu identity. In the US, there are many movements going on, like critical race theory, uh, and I'll give an alternative theory to that, and which is called as critical faith theory, because critical race theory is something which is in many ways talks about the rights of the races, the original races, like Native Americans, what happened to Native Americans on the racial basis. Critical faith theory, on the other hand, focuses on the predominant right for every individual to have a faith, and that is called critical faith theory. So, in the critical faith theory, it's coming up in my new book also, where I have spoken about how the native faiths of the people were destroyed by colonial faiths. Like, for example, America was colonized by Christians, and Europe was colonized by Christians also. If you look at the old history, how the pagan, the word pagan comes from Pasian, which actually means the ancient gods, but in English you have connotation and denotation. The connotation means pagans are backwards or useless people, or something their faith is a threat to Christianity. So it's a Christian term demeaning the native cultures of Europe. And then it came to other countries of the world. They started calling Hindus as pagans or heathens. And somehow we have survived. And also in the US, if you see, the new acceptance amongst the youngsters for Hindu faith is very high, very, very high. The reason is the critical race theory is absolutely a racial theory. I call it the critical faith theory. The faith that survives is the faith that has the most common sense, has the most likelihood of success with our own inherent capabilities. That's called critical faith theory, according to me. This is invention by me. So just like I created the word Sattology, I created the critical faith theory now. And we need to talk about it. It's coming in my new book, and we need to talk about it. The faith of the natives is critical. Like, you can be anywhere you want, it doesn't matter what you practice now. But your inherent faith, if you believe in the energy of the sun, that should be very important. It should be respected. If you believe in something, it should also be respected, whatever you believe. But the scientific basis of that has to be there. It's just like you cannot have a faith which is imposed on you, like by government restrictions. That's how the Christianity spread actually in the Europe in the first place, through kings and nobles. And that happened in the Eastern Europe also. And the Islam also spread through wars and also through kings and nobles. So that's how they did. In Islam and Christianity grew parallelly in the Middle East and the Eastern countries, uh, except India, today's India. But Pakistan, part of India, was conquered by them. But the point is that the natives have the right to practice their own faith. Why should they should be converted through any coercive means, including conversion, marriages, or any kind of media propaganda that happens in India nowadays? So all those things are not required. So in today's context, we have to come to a conclusion that we have to work on the re-administering the faith. And I travel across the US nowadays. I started traveling because of restrictions have reduced now to some extent. So I met this wonderful gentleman at my local San Diego temple, and I went to the ISKCON temple. And I'll also, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the missions. I'm going to a mission in California, and I'm going to talk to you from there about the faith. What makes people come to a particular faith? And I'm going to also do a live show on that. So watch this video, and after that, you and I will talk again. Now, before I do that, I want to tell you that you have to see it from an open perspective. Just understand, some of you do not like ISKCON, some of you like ISKCON, some of you don't like any other organization also. I personally, that is your personal choice. From my point of view, anyone coming to Sanatana Dharma from any side should be welcome. I hope you will agree with that. Okay. Hello. Namaste. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi Krishna, I'm Daniel Korcha, and I'm here living at ISKCON Temple in San Diego.
And Daniel, what inspired you? So you must be aware that it is called Krishna consciousness,
Yeah.
but it is also called Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism. So what inspired you to turn in this direction? You're very young.
Yeah, I just turned 19 in August, and so I can tell that I'm very young. But as I've come to Krishna consciousness, it's actually been a journey, not just going and understanding Krishna himself, but really who I am as myself. A lot of people these days suffer in the material world. They eat a lot, or they have illicit sex, and just eating meat in general just breaks your soul. Destroys your compassion. And so in a sense, as I was coming closer and closer to the devotees here in San Diego, I noticed that my subconscious was really changing in the sense of I want to become a devotee myself. And when it came to Krishna, I realized that there was something more to this life. There's something more to the mundane material activities that we all enjoy to the daily basis. And I'm just so grateful that I came here because I learned so much about Krishna. And Prabhupada, who actually founded the ISKCON association for all around the globe. And so what really inspired me at first was actually Damodar Kumar Das. He's one of the senior monks here. He inspired me to come here, go back to Godhead, really. And so, yeah.
Like generally, like there is a conference going on in the US of dismantling Hindutva. Now it is mostly political, and I don't value it too much. But according to you, what made this path? I know you are inspired by the people that you just mentioned, but what made you this path more fulfilling for you to just join? You're very young. How old are you?
19.
19.
Yeah.
I hope I have your permission to record the video.
Yes, it's okay.
So, but still, what inspired you other than people?
Well, everyone's seeking for truth. Everyone here on this planet is searching for something. They desire. We're all desiring something. Even if it's, oh, I want a new phone. Oh, I want to eat this. It's still desire. We all have a desire for something. And I was looking for what is that desire I want to fulfill in my life. And so when I was coming closer and closer to Krishna consciousness, I noticed that the desire was growing like an intense wildfire, and it needed to be put out. And we get sucked into this and try to fill it with material things, but that all it does is it adds more to the flames. And so I wouldn't say it's just this association of the devotees, but it also has to do with just the Prabhupada, how specific he was in describing the Bhagavad Gita. He has made it clear, he has broken it down in many, many forms of just pure intelligence. And Krishna has given him so much mercy. He came here on a boat from India, and he suffered a lot. He sacrificed a lot of his time. He would not sleep. He would only sleep a couple hours throughout the night just to write the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and all these other books.
So many other, like a lot of, and I respect everybody's faith in many ways. but there is a lot of culture about one life syndrome. There's only one life, and another one is by the book only, like the people by the book,
Yeah.
which is generally Abrahamic faiths, and they're very fanatic about it. And I'm sure, since you're spiritually minded, you must have gone through those books also. What makes you reading Bhagavad Gita? Now you read Bhagavad Gita also. What makes you the Bhagavad Gita special for you?
It's not the Gita itself, because there's many different varieties of Gita, but it's the person who wrote the Gita is what's special. You know, it's like when you're coming back home from a long day. You know, everyone as a kid, I think they all had like long days in school. They just want to go back home and see the people that they love and go back to where they originally came from. And so when I came here into Krishna consciousness at ISKCON, I noticed that it wasn't just like going to a random temple and they're reading by the book, or they're practicing straight devotional service and that's it. But no, it was that we're realizing that there's more to life, there's more to truth, and Prabhupada has really cultivated that in the Bhagavad Gita. And so he couldn't have done it without the mercy of Krishna, Nityananda, Chaitanya, right? So all this mercy was really given to him, and he was just such an exemplary, pure soul who has really helped the majority of ISKCON members.
So in US today, and I'm speaking from my global audience perspective, also American audience, we are in many universities in North America. So there's a lot of political movement against Sanatana Dharma, Hindus, and things like that. And probably you may not even have heard of it, but there is a conference going on just in 2 days' time, or must be happening on a regular basis. It's dismantling Hindutva, which is Sanatana Dharma, Krishna consciousness, whatever. So, and I really don't want you to go political, just focus on what you want to say. So do you think those people are even logical to read without reading anything, and they're just commenting on the Sanatana Dharma and just spreading bad information?
Well, let's give an example. If someone came to your home, right? This is my understanding. Someone came to your home and they said, hey, I don't like the way your house looks, so we're gonna have to tear it down and build something else or create something new. Now this happens a lot in neighborhoods. They have people that have been living there for years, and then they get like a new president who runs the neighborhood. I forgot what they're called, but they have those kind of people in the US at least. And in that, they essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to control in such a way so that it pleases everybody. And so if it's not pleasing everybody, then that's what they do, is try to change it so that it pleases everybody. And what that really does, it brings in more customers, more money to them, and who knows what they're doing with that money. And it's probably not for Krishna if they're not reading the Gita books.
That's right.
But in that sense, to kind of relate to that, all I can say is that it's sad, for sure, but in Krishna consciousness, it's not about having association. It's not about, it's not about all these teachings that we're going through. It's really about loving Krishna. That's the main point we're trying to drive, is love Krishna with all your heart, with all your might, with everything you have, every ounce of peace, spirituality, divineness inside of you. Give it to Krishna. All the Krishna, just let it go. Because when you're really doing is, we're focusing too much on what is being said and not what is being done. So really just focus on Krishna, and that's all I can say is that, if they're doing this, they're not focusing on Krishna.
So all these American professors and American academics who are focused on commenting on Gita, but most of them, they don't follow it. They are Christian pastors studying Gita and teaching Krishna Sanatana Dharma. So, and that is what's going on in American academics. People like you are better teachers than them. So even if they're 3 months old, they're better teachers. So what makes the difference? Like you as a 19-year-old person talking very sensitively, and they being teachers of Hinduism, but they're Christian pastors and with malified intentions. So what do you speak to such kind of people who are using Gita for political purposes?
Well, the reason why we all fell down from the spiritual platform originally is because we're fallen conditioned souls. As Prabhupada said in the Gita, is that we are fallen conditioned souls, and we have come here in order to relearn that love and connection and devotion to Krishna. And people that are using that for their benefit is because they're so conditioned in a sense that, okay, this is better for me, this is for me, this is all for me. They're not valuing the actual value of who Krishna is, but they're using it as you can say, like a platform to make them look higher than others. You can think of it as if somebody's on a ladder and you're just on a chair, right? The ladder can go much higher than the chair. And so, but we're not trying to compete. Everyone should be on an equal mindset. All men, all women, all kids, all minds are all equal in the same mindset because we're all part and parcel of Krishna.
So have you read Gita?
I have.
How many chapters?
I'm still getting through them, so yeah.
Okay. But how many chapters have you read so far?
Enough to understand.
Okay. Thank you so much, Daniel. And I think with Gita says Neha Bikramanashwasti Pratyavayana Vidite Solpam Piyasi Dharmasya Traite Mahatava. Little bit advancement. But thank you.
Jai Hare Krishna.
Namaste. Watch this show and then see my remarks after the show. Hello viewers, I hope you liked the video of Daniel. Right, Daniel, I was there personally with him, interviewing him, and he's a young boy, 19 years old. And if you saw all the questions that I asked him. Now, he seemed to be, because he's new, obviously he seems to be very, like the new people who come to a faith, they're very enthusiastic about it. What they know, what they've read. Okay, but one thing you'll find, that he is focused on the basics, what that is being given to him. So Sanatana Dharma is so big, vast. From wherever you come, how much ever you do, that is enough. Okay. So it's time for us. If American kids are taking it up, and these kids are not, his father was a pastor. These kids are not just taking it blindly, they're intelligent kids. This can happen in every part of the world. If we go out, when you drive in India, so many souls are there around you. It's time to tell everybody about Sanatana Dharma. We have to restart and also focus on the people at the higher ups, the political leaders, the actors, the actresses. That's where we need to focus on. They all need to show their Hindu faith prominently. And I'll also suggest you something. Om pendant, Om pendant, Om. Om is a sign of Hinduism. Om represents Vishnu. Just like others carry crosses and all, but Om represents Vishnu. Make it popular. Make the Om popular across everybody. And do let me know your feedback. And I want to hear from you. Let's start the process. That's Sattology. Let's speak truth, spread truth, and let others join us. And we need to debunk the mythology. Namaste.